Hello, this is WPI Daily Briefing. It's the 30th of June. I'm Debonitas. I'm in the studio with Hamid Taqvaee, the leader of the WPI. Hello and welcome, Hamid.
Thank you.
It seems yesterday that Ahmadinejad has been confirmed president of Iran after the latest election, and it seems that the Islamic government, the Islamic regime, wants to move on quickly. There were calls that the protests must cease now, that it is done, that the guiding council has made up their mind, and that's about it. It's the last instance. So is that it, Hamid?
No. People know, all of them. People know what that council means, what that confirmation means. People are not waiting for somebody to confirm that Ahmadinejad is president or is not. People want him to just get out of the power, and somebody else, Mousavi or whatever, somebody else comes there. So for people, it's not a question of that is a legal president or illegal president. The question is, he is not our president. That's what people say. So I don't think it has any sort of effect on people whatsoever.
We have heard, or we haven't actually heard, about the protests over the last week, because what we have seen a lot in the media, in the Western media, was they said, oh, the protests have down very much so. There was a crackdown on the protests. The protesters had to go underground, I've read in several papers. And is that a true picture? Is that a realistic picture?
No. Protest for sure is not going underground. Everything is happening underground still. And the other thing is that although we don't have that sort of mass demonstration that we were witnessing, say, 2 weeks ago, but still we have demonstration in a large size. Not comparing with 2 weeks ago, but comparing with 1 month ago. You know what I mean? Before the election, you couldn't even imagine that you could have protests for just a few thousand. Now, every day, at least tens of thousands of people are on the street protesting.
Every day?
Every day. Yesterday we had that, not only in Tehran, in many other cities. In Tabriz we had the news, in Isfahan, in Shiraz, every day. But that's true, that it seems that that form of protesting, I mean, just going to streets and shouting and being wanting something, because of those armed forces everywhere now, is getting harder and harder for people. But it doesn't mean that people now just give up and are going back home. It's not true at all. There are different new shapes of struggle now we are witnessing, like conflicts with the armed forces during the night, especially in different neighborhoods in Tehran or in other cities, or like some sort of local protests or local meetings that people arrange, and in different points at the same time you have different protests with, say, a few thousand everywhere, and that sort of new forms of forms of struggle and new forms of protest we are witnessing now. So it's not going underground at all, because it is a very open and very clear revolution is going on there.
And there are also some reports that people come out at night and they're standing, or in the evening, and they're standing on the rooftops or at their windows, at their open windows. And what we have read a lot in the media is that they say Allahu Akbar, God is great. No, whereas we have different reports.
That's what the media wants you to believe. It's not true at all. Of course, there are some Allah Akbar slogans too, but now what people really shout everywhere, not only during the night, even in those protests that Mousavi calls for, the main slogan is "Down with the dictator" or "Death to dictator," as we say in Farsi, or to the supreme leader, to Khamenei. That's the main slogan now. And if somebody wants to see what's going on in Iran, I think that slogan shows very good. It shows you a good picture of what actually the protest is about and what people really want. People don't want to go. Look, Allah Akbar is a slogan that Mousavi tries to show, to tell people, okay, we are fighting for going back to Khomeini's time, 30 years ago, when in his view, the revolution or the Islamic revolution was pure. We had Republic and Islam both sides, because he believes that that Republic side gets weaker and weaker. Now we have to somehow go back to that. But that's not what really people want. People, they want just to get rid of the whole Islamic regime. So Allah Akbar doesn't show that true content and true face of the protest. The protest is, as people say every day and every night, against the dictatorship, against the whole system.
There were some comments by a cleric who said that Ahmad Khatami, who also last week called for the leaders of the protests to be executed, and he said now that anybody who is opposing the decision by the Guardian Council that Ahmadinejad is the president, so they're opposing the law, and what they're basically doing is they do not want to move forward within legal channels, and they would like to achieve their aims by force. And he called anybody who says these elections were they should be annulled, they called them anti-revolutionary. Of course, anti the revolution, meaning the 79 or the takeover by the Islamists. So, what can we expect from the Islamic regime now in terms of the protests?
That Khatami speaks in a way that as if now is the beginning of shooting people, attacking people. They have been doing it for 2 weeks now. So it's not the case that now your protest is illegal from now on, we're going to shoot you. People know you already did that. We saw you in the street. We know what you can and what you cannot do, you know. So that sort of threat, okay, that's at the end. The legal forms of protest is over. Now we're going to attack you. People say, well, so what? You have been doing that for 2 weeks, and that's what you really can do. You know, tens of people get killed, thousands, at least 3,000 people get arrested during those legal protests. What else they can do? So it doesn't have any sort of effect. It is not going to intimidate people or send everybody home or anybody home just because that stupid guy says that, okay, now every legal thing had happened, it is over, now it is illegal. People know that for 2 weeks they are fighting that government street by street, so it's too late for that sort of propaganda and that sort of gesture that, okay, now you are illegal. We have been illegal for 2 weeks, people know that.
Yes, and they have felt it,
yes.
the thousands that have been arrested. Let's talk a bit about the reaction from abroad. We had you sent a letter recently to the head of government and state saying that they should cut all ties with the Islamic regime. And there was a meeting last weekend, the EU ministers met, and they said they focused very much, I think, about the embassy issue, the arrested employees in the UK embassy in Iran. And they said we have a strong and collective response. Whatever that might mean. And then now also the upcoming G8 summit, and Berlusconi said today that who's going to host the G8 summit, that they might think about going into the direction of more sanctions. What's your take on that?
I think it's the continuation of the old policy that they have toward Iran, not because of those uprisings, because of the nuclear issue and the other problems that they had with the Islamic Republic. I think it's the same old policy. That doesn't say anything about that uprising and about the behavior of Islamic Republic against its own people. It doesn't say anything about that. I think they have been very cautious. They want to see what's happening and then have their own position. So it's a very diplomatic approach as well to the problem.
And what do you think of Hillary Clinton's statement after she was asked whether they approve of or accept Ahmadinejad as president? And she said, oh, we take it one day at a time.
I think they're going to do that. I think they're going to do that because they've said a long time ago, I mean, at the beginning of those uprisings, they said, we keep every options open. We want to see what's happening. We don't care who's going to be the president. We're going to deal with them, whoever it is. And still that's the U.S. policy, I think.
Thank you very much. This was WPI's Daily Briefing. Until tomorrow, goodbye.